Jared PolandFroKnowsPhoto.com here with another raw edit of the week, and this is 36, I think? Week 36, and it is sponsored by Drobo. Yeah, Drobo, they actually changed their name from Data Robotics to officially Drobo. They must be getting big because a lot of people are using them. I just picked up my second one, as you know, and coming in the next couple weeks, I'll be giving away a free Drobo, and I'm also going to be hooking up my second Drobo to go with my other one that's already my first backup, so I'll have a full second backup with 10 terabytes of data on each, so that's pretty cool. So yeah, thanks Drobo for doing that, so it helps us make these videos and keep them coming. So here's a shot that if you saw the video the other day, which would be technically yesterday when this is going up, but if you did not see the 5-minute portrait session I had with Sarah, you can click something like here, click here, and it will take you over to that video so that you can see this photo as it was being taken. So I've already edited this once, but I'm going to edit it now for a raw file because I thought it would be great. Actually, a couple of you guys suggested why not put up one of the photos from the shoot as a raw edit. So here it is. This is a raw edit from one of my files from a D3s. It was taken 1/250th of a second, f3.2, ISO 640 with the 300mm 2.8. Thinking back now, looking at my settings, probably should have bumped my ISO to around 800, if not 1000, to give me a faster shutter speed of around 1/500th of a second to counteract the 300mm long lens. But let's dive into this contrast. Boom. I know I want to put my contrast up in this, so I'm going to go right about there. Already takes the image to somewhere else. We went from flat as can be, but that's normal, to boomify. Now, the work that I know I need to do here is probably use the adjustment brush to brighten up this area, because I don't really want to use fill light too much because it kind of takes away from the boomification of the image. What else can we do here? Brighten it up slightly. Right about there for now. Blacks. Let's go about, let's see, right about here. I know it's nice and thick. You can see that here. I love the thickness here. I want to pull back on the clarity. Remember, if you go too far, look what it does to the face. If you go too little, look what it does. It totally makes it do that glow thing. So this is where I'm going to go, -16, -16. And what else needs to be done? Well, it needs to be warmed up. That is something that definitely needs to be done here. I wrote this down before because I did 46, 14, maybe a little yellow. Actually, it's a little green right now. So I'm going to add some tint. Boom. And you know what? It's not as green. Is it too yellow? Let me pull back a little bit. Yeah, I'll pull back a teeny bit, and then I'll pull back slightly on that, and that is good so far. So this is a pretty solid edit in my mind. I love the clarity. I love the tone. Both eyes are in focus. Let's get to we'll do some healing. Boom. Healing. Gone. Goodbye. And that, you can't really see that, so we're going to leave that there. Zooming out. Now let's get into the adjustment brush because I know her face needs a little bit of brightness in here. So I'm going to focus a little bit here. Where are we at? We're at 0.25. I know when I did my edit, I wrote it down. I was at 0.52 right here in the eye area. Also, I've got the feather turned way up. It makes the blending much nicer, much smoother. It's not as harsh around the edges, so you can see that. So I just really want to touch up the eye and the under the eye area. Try to make it blend as much as possible. And then I want to hit up the cheek with something a little less. And it brightens it up slightly. There we go. Do I want to hit this eye at all? Yeah, I want to hit it slightly. Boom. And you can see that this area is blown out, but to me, I don't mind much with I don't that doesn't bother me. I don't really think that's a big deal because the focus of the image looks so good right here on the eye. Let's see if I can make this a little, add some more in. It's because I didn't. That's why. I'm going to start back over and do two separate ones. 0.25. And then start a separate edit where I start to blend it. So boom, click it off, boom, boom. Actually, I should have just hit new. 0.25 in the facial area here. Just to blend it a little more. And I think that should do it. It's not too overdone. That made it overdone. Here we go. So I am going to lock it in right here. Here was I'm going to call this one number 2. Let's see where my first edit was compared to this one. Let's see. That was the first one I did. That was the one I just did. I'm seeing some differences. Ooh, I'm seeing major differences right under the eye here. And I like the first one I did better. I guess because I spent more time on it. And I'm not sure what I did differently here. I did more. So let's do another one and see what we got. You can see the wince of the face right there. Wow. I'm really not sure how I did the first versus the second, but I really like how I got the first one to begin with. It would definitely take a lot more time to try to bring it all the way back. Let's see. Yeah, I'm not really sure how I did that. I'm sticking with the first one. I know you just watched me get as close as I could with this one, but I like the first edit that I did that I spent a lot more time doing because I really wanted to get this one right, and that's where I locked it up. I got pretty close with the second one. We'll see what Adam comes up with next, but I hope this gives you a starting point of where I did this. I just feel that I really liked my first one. That's why I saved the snapshot, because for some reason I can't get the second one as close or as smooth as what I did with the first one, but you get the idea, and hopefully you picked up some things. Adam, your turn.
Adam Lerner with this week's Raw Edit, and this week we have a photo from Frono's Photos, Jared Polin. This is part of the 5-minute portrait series that he does, and this is a portrait of his lovely friend Sarah. Beautifully shot, really nice, great eye contact, really flattering, and I'm not saying any or all of these things on Jared's behalf. I just think it's a really strong image, and I think she looks great. I like the softness of it. I like the softness of her hair and the way that the background is just like butter. So let's get right into this shot here. And interestingly, for whatever reason, as much as Jared hates the C word, I am going to crop. Boom. I'm thinking like a 1-to-1 crop right here. However, it's too tight. So I'm going to bring this bit over here. I'm going to unlock the lock over there. And I just want to go just down to about there. Boom. Look at that. Beautiful beauty shot, really nice, and let's get into editing this thing right here. So the exposure is really quite good. I don't really want to mess with that. Blacks, we could definitely bring up the blacks a bit and just give it a little more drama. We're going to do something about there, and I'm going to deal with how heavy it has become, because I don't want heaviness. I'm just going to bring my contrast down a little bit. I don't really want this to be a high contrast shot. I want this to kind of come down a little bit and soften things up. All right, clarity, same kind of thing. It just too metallic, not pretty, and I want this to be soft and pretty. So let's see. Let's keep that about there. Now, vibrance. She's got really nice soft tones, so let's just bring the vibrance down a little bit. Let's see how that does. Yeah, not so bad. It's kind of cool. Saturation, let's even bring the saturation. Let's get like a real kind of a muted look here. Somewhere, I don't know, somewhere around there. Yeah. And let's just give it a little bit of, let's warm it up just a touch right here, just like that. You know, that's kind of cool. I'm kind of digging what's going on there. I want to add some sharpening. So let's go to this eye here, go and mask this off just so that we can get contour detail and not texture detail somewhere around there. That is lovely. Before and after. Okay, it's a pretty subtle difference. We're going to just add a little bit of fill light here, just a little bit like that. And we're going to do some highlight vignetting. Boom. Let's keep bringing this down in here. Keep bringing it down. Keep bringing it down. And somewhere around there. Midpoint. Let me just get this to somewhere where I'm happy with it. Roundness. Same kind of thing. And we're just going to feather. Okay, just kind of have it like nicely blended there. Because the background is so buttery and blown out, I don't really care about, you know, these kind of like darkened edges over here. I don't mind losing a little bit of this over here. It wasn't doing much for me in the first place. And look at these beautiful, beautiful blue eyes that she has here. So we could do a couple things. We could go into the blue and just, you know, mess with that. And that's unfortunately not going to do a ton. So let's just bump it up just a snap over there. Aqua I don't think is going to do much, you know, so let's just leave that alone. But what I do want to do is I want to go into the brush tool. Okay, boom, takes me to the brush tool, and I'm going to go into Iris Enhance. And I'm going to zoom in on her eyes. Okay, I'm actually going to do a 2-to-1 zoom so I can get right in on there. Hang on, there we go. And I'm just going to, for the sake of time, I'm just going to do a very quick boom. Just do that right there. And I'm going to do the same thing on her other eye. And we're going to go in there. We could obviously paint this very carefully, but that's not going to happen right now. Okay, let's go back 1-to-1 and look at that beautiful color. It's a little bit exaggerated, so let's just bring down the exposure just a touch or so. And right about there. Close, zoom out. Boom. Look at how lovely that shot has become. The only thing I might want to do is just maybe add a little bit of highlights. Let's just see how that looks. And it's a little bit too much, you know. I'm actually not even going to touch that really. I'm just going to leave that like that. I really like the way that this has come out. We're going to go to the before, we're going to go to the after, and I think this is a really nice, lovely, soft portrait. So we're going to save this as our first snapshot, and we are going to go black and white. Alright, so let's go into the black and white module. V key. Boom. Look at that. Look at those beautiful eyes coming through. Look at that really nice bokeh in the background. And let's see, maybe a little bit of fill? No? Yeah, just a little bit like that. Let's see, maybe just add a little bit more blacks over here. Maybe just take the contrast up just a little bit. Somewhere kind of like around there. And I'm going to say that, well, you know what? I'm just going to add a little bit more fill. Somewhere around there. And let's see, let's create a new snapshot. We'll call this 2. And we will go to snapshots. Let me just get rid of this little bit right here. And we'll go to 1. We'll go to 2. And we'll look at the original file. And I'm happy with what I got here. So now let us go off to Jared.
We are back. Adam and I are here, and being that I am the photographer this week, the photographer's edit is on the left-hand side, as well as Jared's edit, and Adam is in the middle. Sarah's staring right at me in black and white, and Sarah's also on the right in semi-color, staring back at me as well. So
semi-color?
Yeah, it's very muted. It's pulled back.
Yeah.
What were you going for?
You just said it, man. I mean, I think that comparatively, if you look at your edit, you know, her hair and her skin tones are really exaggerated in color. And I felt that her coloring overall just, you know, was very muted. You know, she had, you know, kind of light tones about her. And I just wanted to accentuate that lightness and that softness
crispy.
And subtlety.
I call
Pardon?
that crispy.
Crispy?
Crispy. She looks crispy.
You think she looks crispy, like burnt out?
Oh yeah, I love it. I love the high contrast and the colors and the boomification. Maybe a post-crop vignette would look nice,
right,
on her in color to draw me in a little bit. Speaking of, why don't I just go in there and see what that would look like while we're on the line, real quick. Let's see. Oh yeah, look at that.
Boom.
Boom, 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 boom. Let's see. Off. On. Ah, it's much better with it.
Don't you feel though that her hair is a little bit like too red compared to what her hair kind of really should look like?
No. No, I think she looks,
Give me the before and after.
Oops.
All right.
No, I think that... Oh, that looks awesome.
Okay.
God, this photographer did a tremendous job.
Well, I did comment in my video, and I wasn't trying to blow smoke, and just say, like, this shot is a real true testament to when you know what you're doing, and you know your settings, and you know your surroundings, how in a very short amount of time you can really bring out the best in somebody in a portrait. And shooting with a long lens and having nice diffused light, all those kind of things are really great.
What?
Again, I felt that, with her kind of soft colors and softer hues and muted, she has muted colors, that I wanted to really go for that kind of muted, almost vintagey look to her. And I'm happy with my edit. Sure. But I could also see why you wanted to boomify yours. And, it's got a lot of punch to it, too.
Yeah. And again, there's an application for all of these. You never know where it would be used or whose fancy would be tickled by these different edits, because there is no one right or wrong way. Like week after week, or just when Adam and I sit around and we discuss different photos that we've taken from videos we don't even record, it's like I'll see his edit and go, wow, I see something in there that I want to try on my own, and that may take my image to the next level. And there's so many different things. I know it's like a broken record at this point that I say it, but you never know how somebody's going to edit it, and it's all about learning from everybody's edits and taking that nugget of information that you get and going with it. And it's forming your own style. If you edited like, say, me, or if you edited the same exact way that Adam would edit, then you're kind of not forming your own style so that somebody could literally pick your photo out of a lineup. Many people can pick my photos out of a lineup, whether it's my music shots or how I edit. But yeah, you can say, wow, that's a Jared shot. And I like that. I've heard that in the past where people go, yeah, we knew it was yours just from how you edited or just from looking at it. It popped. Yeah. So anyway, if you didn't go and click over to see the video of the actual, there's a 40-minute video, it's called the 5-minute portrait, it's 40 minutes long, of Sarah and I during a photo shoot. Great interactions. There was no tension at all. It was a lot of fun. Great video to watch. You can click the box right here in the middle, just click somewhere, and it will take you over to that video. So Adam, you want to add anything to this?
Nope, I think you said it all, and I think that it's a really good exercise for people to not only think about this, but actually watch that video and try doing a 5-minute edit with anybody, their family member, friend, girlfriend, whatever.
5-minute portrait.
Portrait, sorry, that's what I meant.
And try to keep it under 40 minutes.
Well, yeah, exactly.
Yeah, but
what they can actually produce in 5 minutes.
Sure, yeah, and yeah, that's definitely possible. It's a lot harder when you're trying to record everything, but yeah, that's beside the point. So if you would like to send in your raw file to edit, please do so to froknowsphoto@gmail.com. Be sure to include the full res edited JPEG so that we can put it next to the edits that we do, so that everybody can see what the photographer had in mind when they edited it compared to what Adam and I see, or whoever else is editing, being that we don't actually look at I actually get to see the edits before because I'm downloading them, so whatever, I get a little bit of look in there, but Adam usually doesn't. So yeah, that's straight up true. And that's about it. Yeah, this is my file this week, so enjoy that D3s file from the 300-28 and have fun with it. Adam, thank you again.
Thank you.
And thank you, Drobo, for being the sponsor for this week's video again. Jared Poland, froknowsphoto.com. See ya.